Okay, I am going to start in by just coloring this eye of this cat. And the thing is, I can show you the front of the book, kind of, but if I go to moving my camera much, I'm afraid that I'm going to lose focus on this. So I'm going to do this eye, and then we'll go back and show the front of the book. All right? I had to read up on cats a little bit. Cats are basically born with blue eyes, and then they change to greens and golden colors. And that's what I'm going to do here on this one. I'm going to do this in, let's see, Goldenrod by Prismacolor. It's 1034. So I'm going to start with this, and I'm going to do the lightest sections. And I really should be going this way instead of up and down, because most of the time your eye color radiates from the center. And again, I don't have cats, so I'm not sure on all this, but I can at least show you how to color a grayscale eye. So that was the lightest colors, except for this. We're leaving that white. In fact, let's just go ahead and do that white now. That is reflective light, so that will just stay white. All right, then I'm going to go to my next color, which is Sienna Brown 945. Okay, and I'm going to come around all this, getting just on the edges. Okay, and then it's going to be darker up through here. It's always on human and animal eyes. It's going to be darker across the top because of the lid and the forehead area shadowing. All right, so there's that. We're going to go ahead and do part of this too. Then I'm going to go to another brown. This is chocolate. It's 1082. I'm going to come in here again, getting the outer color. And I know I didn't say their eyes are brown. I said they were like golden or greens. They're born with blue, and then they change as they go into adulthood. Now, I think I'm right on that. If I'm wrong, oops, sorry. So, but again, if you've got this book, you probably have a cat, so you probably already know. All right, then I'm going to come back with this green. And see how it's looking nice like an eye, but because we said green eyes, I'm going to go with the 10005, and I'm going to lightly go over the whole thing with green. It's going to change the total color, but I'm good with that. I'm using this to blend all the colors and to give it that green cast. Now this paper has some tooth to it, so I am still seeing some of this white pop through, but I'm really okay with it on this one. Okay, so I'm just going to keep going on this, just laying down color. And again, I just wanted that golden undertone, so that's why I put that down first, and then I'm putting this green over the top. If I'd done the green first, it could have ended up looking a lot muddier instead of greener. Does that make sense? So it does matter what color you put down first. Now, I am not going to do the middle of that eye in black. I'm not going to do this in black. When doing animals, I find it best to use sepia or the darkest brown you have. So this is 948, and this is Prismacolor's sepia. So see, it's looking black, but if I had actually done black, it would have been really a lot harsher. So sepia is good, especially if you do anything with children, any coloring that has a child on the page. Don't use black. even on eyelashes and stuff, a lot of times I will use the darkest brown I've got in my box of whatever I'm using to color with. And this is just going down into the fur. I'm just taking it down into the fur. It's not eyelashes, don't worry. I hear some people going, "Ew, what is she doing?" Yeah, it's all right. Okay. But yeah, black's just too harsh to put on a face. All right, let's go ahead and do the nose. And again, once I show you the cover, then you can go pull the book if you've got it and rewind and start. But I just don't want to mess with the settings on my phone right now, because right now it's in focus. If I mess with it, it won't be. All right, so I'm going to use 1018, and that is the lighter of the two pinks I'm using. And see, it's still not in real great focus, but it's going to be good enough. So I'm going to use this on the top area where the light's hitting it, and it's the lighter color in this picture. And see, even though it's grayscale, I can cover all this gray up with just a colored pencil. So work in the lightest areas, and it's going to be those angles that the light is catching. I'm going to go down into the fur a little bit, because the nose doesn't just kerplunk and it's there. It does fan out some. Okay, now I'm going to go over to my other pink that I've pulled, and it is 929. Do you love how hard that is to read? Not. I don't like that. Okay, and then I'm going to come in here with this one and get these darker lines in, and just kind of tap at it to blend it out. You want it to kind of blend in with that other color. So what I'm doing, if I slow it down for you, is I'm pushing and then I lift as I come out. All right? If I over exaggerate that, can you see what I'm doing? So I'm going to do the same thing over here. I'm just going to kind of blend that back and forth a little bit. Come in here. But yeah, when you do those lines, you want to blend them some. So I'm going to bring this down. I'll put a little bit up in here. And then I'll color this in. Sometimes I think it must be so boring to sit and watch somebody color, but then people are like, no, go ahead, we enjoy it. So I keep doing them, you keep watching them. All right, now see how that's kind of splotched? But that's okay, that's a good start. And can you see how there's light area here? That's why there's light area here. It's where that light is falling. So now I'm going to use this. I went back to my lighter pink, and that's what I'm blending with. I want to really soften this out some. They have a little bit of texture on their nose, but it's not, we don't want it streaky looking. Okay, there's a difference in having texture and it just being streaked. It doesn't come down to a point. When we start doing the hair, some of the hair is going to come up in there. So don't fret over that yet. If you should lose all your dark lines, see, because right now that just looks like a V, and I know that's not right, that's okay. But if you should lose all of your dark, just come back in and lay it over the top. It's okay. Just laying that in there. Now, we're going to hold on for a minute, and don't anybody get sick. I'm going to move the camera. Got to get this. There we go. See how that is. Now, the book. It's Captivating Kitty Cats, Volume 1. Cheryl did this and then sent it to me, and I have already done a review on it. And to be honest with you, my niece has 5 children, and they love this book. So the kids, even the boys, they just had to keep picking and choosing, and they're like, oh no, I want that one, no, that one, and just kept changing their minds. So it's really been a fun book to play with them with even. Okay, so now I'm going to come back over and we're going to go into these first colors that we used on this eye, and let's go ahead and do the other one. Do you see how much better that looks once you get back from it? Okay, now you know what, I'm not going to do 15 videos on this, so let's skip this eye. You're going to do this eye just like this one. You're going to keep the lighter parts and the yellower color, the goldenrod, then your other two browns coming out, and then the green over the top, just like what we did before. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to lose this green, and I'm going to keep these, add white, and that's going to be my kitty color. Okay, so I'm going to take, it's just the colors I've chosen. You can do whatever. So this is my goldenrod 1034, and I'm going to come in here and just start doing little strokes, going in this light area, but not in the white. Okay, just in the light. Just in the lighter area. Now you got to watch the grain on the paper. Some of the fur is going this way, some of it starts going this way, some of it's going this way. That's the trick to doing fur. Choppy strokes, keep it going the direction that it's going on the paper. If this were not grayscale, you would start at the underside. You'd start at this down here, because this is over the top. Then you would do this because this comes over the top. Then you'd do this, this comes over. Okay, you have to think about the layers and how it grows. And that's how you would color it. Okay, so I'm getting all these lighter strokes in here. And then what I'm showing you here on the grayscale, you would just do all over. I don't need to show you the whole thing. You can do it. By the time you finish coloring this much with me, you'll know what you're doing. Try to miss those whisker lines. If you do happen to get them, go back with an eraser and just erase over the top, and that'll put them back to white. Okay? So now you can see I've done a lot in this shade. This is my lightest besides the white. And see, I'm going up into this pink a little bit. There's a little bit of light down here, because I told you we knew that was not a V shape. There's a little bit over here. And there's just a few in here. Keep them short and very choppy. That's what's going to make a fur look more realistic, like fur. Okay, just short and choppy. See, there's even some up in here. Go ahead and do it. Just do all this second lightest color, anything that's not white, but it's that next shade. That's what you're doing. That's how you attack a grayscale. And see, now the fur is going this way. So I have to change directions so that it really looks like fur. Okay? Keep going at it. Okay, we're at 14 minutes. Good. Now see, here I'm coming across here, and I'm overlapping end part of that eye area. Remember I told you we were not doing eyelashes? I just didn't want it to look like eyeliner, so that's why I went ahead and made that come out some. If we find out it's not good, we'll erase it later. No big deal. Alright, so that's almost all of that middle color. And choppy strokes are not real hard to do. You just have to get used to chopping at it. Okay, then my white is actually all of this lighter shade. And yeah, you could leave it white, but I like to go ahead and go over it because sometimes the white will pull into the other color and automatically give you a third different color in there, which just adds more depth. So that's why I go ahead and use the white anyway. Okay, now I'm going to go to that next color, which was 945 Sienna Brown. Now I'm going to come into the next color. And there comes a point where you just kind of, okay, I think that was the next area, because you're starting to go over it and it's harder to tell. But what I use in one area, I like to use in other areas. That's why I'm doing the eye colors for my cat. But I mean, if you've got a cat that looks like this, oh, by all means, take your color swatches. Take your color swatches, go down to your cat and try to match those up. How fun would that be? I almost did a green cat just to show you that it's the blending that we're after, not the color. And I thought, nah, people wouldn't get it. Do you see how that's starting to look like little choppy bits of fur though? It's just going over and over, adding the different colors, making sure that you stay going the right direction. And see, I'm going to pull that all the way down into here. And some of these are longer and over the top. Just don't do it in straight lines. You don't want it to look like little soldier men. Now I am going to come back up here into the eye, and I'm going to pull some more. What that's doing is that's going to let that eye look like it's sunk further back in there in the head. It's not just sitting out on top. So see there, I've gone over a lot of what I had done before, but again, it's layers. It's just layers of color. And see up here, it's going this way. Over here, it's going this way. You just have to look and see what direction it's going on your page. Fur can take a while if you build your layers, but I'm telling you, by building those layers, you're going to get so much more depth to your picture. Okay, I'm going to come in with that darker brown for a little bit. The chocolate, it's 1082. I'm going to do some of that in here. And it's just going to make that eye look a little more sunken in. The eyes don't float on their faces, even on ours. And see, like down here, this is going to be darker because this is on top, this is underneath, so it's got that little shadow overhang. See, now I left the line there, I'm right there at it, and that's letting this top part of the mouth overlap this bottom area. And again, when you're doing grayscale, that's why that's darker. Okay, this right here, see this line here and here? I would go all through here in the darker. There's a line that kind of comes through here, so this is all the darker. See? And that's how you're also going to see that whisker better. And I just went over that whisker. I probably should have gone over them in white to have helped it stand out. If you use acrylic craft paints, you can also use a liner brush and just pull these through. and it will keep them nice and thin and more realistic looking. Okay, now you're just going to keep going back and forth in all your different directions and just keep adding your layers. Okay, this needs a lot more layers, but I don't want to sit and just do layer after layer. I always tell you it's going to be a hot mess before it's good. So just keep doing your layers. And then overlapping. See, I did all this in that dark, but as I come back in, yeah, I changed back over to goldenrod 1034. As you keep doing more layers though, that's how you're getting that depth. You know, even when you look at your own skin, you have your pigmentation, you've got hair, you've got freckles, we've got several different layers of God's creativity on us. We don't have just skin. Well, it's the same thing with animals. There's several layers of different things going on, and a lot of it's fur and color change. And if you take a cat, oh, especially if you take a rabbit and blow on the fur, if you blow straight down in and that fur opens up, you're going to see multiple different colors through there. Okay, back in with sienna again, 945. Just adding more color in here. Yeah, I've kind of gotten away from the grayscaleness of it and just adding color. See, he's got a little bit of a light color right there and a little bit of lightness right there, and I don't want to lose that lightness, but I wanted it to have a little bit of color. Okay, hopefully that looks pretty good to y'all through the camera. It's not half bad here in person. And our time's going to run out about 8 more minutes. I only do like 30-minute videos. I don't like to keep you any longer than that. I don't want my hand getting tired, and I don't want to lose your interest. Okay, so you're just going to keep doing this. Just keep on keeping on. And do whichever's comfortable. If it's more comfortable to pull to you, pull that fur to you. See how I was pulling? If it's more comfortable to make it go away, then do some going away. I like to vary it and do both. Keeps my hand from getting quite as tired, and it gives a different look. Okay. I'm just coming in here, because this is going to get some dark on top of it too, because this was dark and medium. I'm getting away from the lighter color. So now I'm going to come back in with the chocolate, the 1082, and just put bits of chocolate in there. And again, it's just adding depth. Just don't color and scribble, but keep the little choppy lines going. And by overlapping, you're going to be able to change colors and add and go back and forth, and it's going to be okay. Okay, so just keep at it, just keep going. You're going to do this whole process over the entire page. And the areas that are lighter, like this, that's going to come back in with my goldenrod, with my lighter shade. And I've just got 3 shades going on plus some white. Okay? But yeah, it would be the same thing. So let's take a look at this. See where this is really dark in here? So this is the darker. And this is dark here. Making sure that it's not a straight line like little soldiers, or when you line up the dominoes and make them fall. You don't want those straight lines. You want to keep them jagged. Keep them moving around. Okay, see how I put all that dark in? and it's going to fade into this light. My pencil is going to need to be sharpened in a little bit, but that's okay. I can turn it on its side. Here's some dark in here. And then I step back and look, and yeah, I've gotten most of the darks covered. Now I'm going to come in with the medium one, which was my Sienna 945, and I'm going to do the next bit, just overlapping. And see, you can get pretty quick with it. Just make sure you're picking that pencil up and doing little strokes and not just scribbling on it. When you take to just scribbling on it, you're going to lose the fur. Okay? So overlap what you did before and come into here a little bit. See, it's just little choppy strokes, still choppy. Whole thing's going to be the little choppy strokes, trying to go the direction that the fur grows. And see, I would go over this multiple times. This is just the first layer. Now I'm going back to that goldenrod because this was a lighter patch, remember? And I am doing choppy. I am not just scribbling. I am actually lifting that pencil, and I can do some that come towards me. And just keep going till you get all the tooth of the paper totally covered. Okay, if this time's out, you'll know, just keep going. See, I'm bringing the yellow on down in here, or this goldenrod rather. You should have really choppy look. I'm putting it in here just to cover some of that. It's not really showing up a lot, but it is another layer. Oh, he's starting to look good. It'll look much better after the other eye is done. A lot of times when you're doing animals, they look blank and empty and lifeless. Once you put those eyes in, it makes all the difference in the world. So if you get discouraged with a piece, stop and put the eyes in. That will really help bring it to life. Look at that kitty. This is a nice book. Okay, this is available on Amazon. Okay, if you go back and search my YouTube videos, you will be able to find the review that I did on this. It's in there, and I go through and show you parts of the pages. Okay, going back to the medium. I'm just going to let this go until it times out. Okay. Choppy strokes. And if you're doing a long-haired cat on one of the other pages, do longer hairs. Make it a long-haired. Sometimes you kind of have to go a little bit sideways when you're up next to those whiskers. Just be careful. There's no way to keep my hand out of this, but you can see what I'm doing. And see, personally, I would stop and take a break here now. My hand is getting tired. But see how it's covering nice? I'm just gonna put a little bit more color in there. Make that eye look a little more sunken back. And see, it doesn't look, you can't see those sepia lines that I had first put in. They're all covered now with the brown and stuff, and it makes that eye look like it's set back into the skull of the cat. Okay? All right, I'm gonna stop. And actually I say that, but I still want to put some more on here. Such a cute little kitty. I don't have pets because of family allergies. But yeah, this is a fun little page. Going back to that was the goldenrod. Now I'm going back to the medium one again. I just want to bring a little more color into that nose. I'm going to go ahead and do that. Yeah, this time I'm just going over it lightly because I'm going to come back over it with the white and do strokes. But that gave me a base color to put the strokes onto. Now I am just doing strokes again. Yeah, see, I like that just since we added that little bit of color in there. So just keep playing with it. If you're in the coloring book group on Facebook, Coloring Books Keep It Clean, if you're doing a page and you have questions and you're not sure about something you're doing, post it and ask. The ladies on there are awesome. And we have 4 that are moderating now, and someone would gladly give you feedback. The moderators or any of our ladies on there that color, they're pretty honest, but they are very polite about it. Okay? So, love these long whiskers. All right, that's it. I'm going to stop. Okay, y'all have fun, and I will see you later. Bye.